Cool. All right, we're ready, Ed.
All right.
I think they're ready.
We're ready.
It's ready.
When you hear the music, we're recording.
It's music.
That's my music, huh?
NYPD FlappCast.
That's trailer trash music. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of the FlappCast, Behind the Funny, where we talk to comedians and find out what goes on behind the scenes at a comedy club. I'm Barbara Holliday.
I'm Joshua Snyder.
And we have the amazing Ken Garr with us today. Oh, he has such a good cartoony voice.
Thanks.
Ken Garr, credits MGM Grand, Tropicana, Asheville Comedy Festival, Second City graduate. What am I missing? There's so much more.
Oh, I've been on the road forever.
Yeah, you're a road hoe.
I've played every comedy club and bowling alley from here to Seattle.
Can you name them all?
Probably, yeah. It'll take me a while.
Made a list? That's a good idea, huh?
Yeah. There'd be so many to list. It'd be
Bowling
amazing.
alley. Why are bowling alleys so popular for comedy?
Well, because they're really the entertainment center of rural America. That's where everyone gathers. It's always the bowling alley.
You know what people don't know? That my partner Dave Radnitz, if he's listening, actually that was one of our models. Was we looked at bowling alleys.
Yeah.
And we were gonna put up a Flappers in a bowling alley.
Oh, it's great. Like the mayor shows up, the manager of the local McDonald's, you know, he shows up. Oh, they're amazing.
So if you're not doing well, do they like try to throw the bowling ball at you?
Strike! One.
They just increase the velocity of the ball they're throwing, like, so
Gotcha.
there's crashing sounds.
It's weird how a strike is good in bowling, but it's bad in baseball.
Yeah, exactly. Try to avoid those.
Or with the unions, am I
So
right?
what was your best bowling alley gig? Come on, now I gotta know.
Shelbyville, Illinois, without even
yeah.
hesitating.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What was so great about it?
Well, the MC was the local DJ, which is uncommon, you know, it's common. And he walks up just, you know, full of, like, hope and just charisma. He's like, I'm going to do about 20 up front. Okay, all right. And then I'm going to bring you up. And then he did about 97 seconds. And, like, everybody in the crowd knew him. Like, get off stage, Kelly! And then they just, you know, just demolished his hopes and dreams. And he's like, all right, well, here's your headliner. And, like, there was, like, the flattest intro ever of all time. And I'm like, hey. So I just ripped on him for about a good 4.5 minutes. And I don't know if he's with us anymore. But... And then afterwards, you know, you get paid by the owner, like in the kitchen, and they're like, you know, can we pay you in cash or can we give you coupons for bowling? You know, it's like, yeah, like, you know what, I could use some bowling shoes. I'm kind of low. Mine are worn through a little bit. But it's always that seedy, like, kitchen exchange where they're like, you feel bad for taking their money. They're on their last pins, so to speak. You know, the mayor's coming down on them, and... you know, so it's always great to be in that kind of environment. Of course, the hotel is always 4-star. I remember at this particular one, I brought my wife, who's now my ex-wife, with, and I literally had to ask her to get off of the bed because of the blood stains that were dripping off the side. So we hit the road that day. Yeah, and from that point on, I always had spare sheets in my trunk, which is something you learn the hard way.
But did you bowl a game that night?
Oh, I definitely almost broke 100. Absolutely. Like, I'm one of those guys that gets excited when the bumpers are up. And I'm like, I don't need them, but you know what? If that's how we're going to play, that's what we'll do.
Wow, from bowling alley to MGM Grand. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Brad Garrett has a club in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand now, and you are a regular there, really. You go there a couple times a year?
Yeah, Brad has me out about 4 times a year, and it's a gorgeous club. He's old school, so it looks like, you know, one of those, like, almost the Copacabana from the 30s and 40s. Just, it's done really nice. He did a really good job doing it.
Tell him about the green room. I've been in there.
Isn't it amazing?
It's like an apothecary of candies. How do you explain it?
I don't even... So he has this just large chest of drawers, and within each drawer there's a different candy. And you do a 7-day run. And so you're like, Monday, you're like, all right, I'm going to be good. Maybe I'll have a Twix. And by, like, Thursday, like, the cabinets are empty, you're doing insulin, you know what I mean? Like it just goes really bad.
But it's not shitty candy.
No.
Like, like actual candy bars and crap in there, and little Coke bottle caps, and all kinds of crazy.
It's like when you were a kid and you went to that one house that gave actual Snickers bars away, and you tried to like change your disguise 4 times. Like that's what this green room is.
The Good Lady House. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. He does a great job.
And you're
did they have sugar-free options?
You know, I think he does.
I think there are some gluten-free, sugar-free options there. So
do they make gluten-free candy? What
I
is
hope not.
gluten, people? I don't understand it.
Apparently, it's worse than Nazis. I don't know. It's public enemy #1 right now.
Well, it doesn't sound good. I mean, could I have some gluten with that? I mean, it's.
Is it a complex sugar?
I don't know. I think
Thanks,
so.
Josh.
Yeah.
Leave it to the
Boy, that really killed the energy.
sci-fi expert.
Is it complex sugar? Shut the fuck up, nerd.
It's poison, Josh. That's what it is.
Isn't all sugar complex, really? I find
Not when I eat it. It's pretty simple. Put in mouth and just eat.
So what candy did you partake?
The Twix, the Snickers, I love those little Reese's
shit.
cups. You know what I mean? And
God,
and then by the end of the week you have all of the drawers memorized,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, fourth from the left, that's the Reese's cups. You know what I mean? Like super
Bowling
easy.
alleys don't have this
No.
shit. That's
No.
all I'm saying.
Those
you
are-
gotta move
yeah.
up to the MGM Grand to get the candies.
I'm rolling.
So how did the MGM Grand come to you?
I worked with Brad Garrett one week. He handpicks all of the comics, and so I had the opportunity to work for him or open for him at the Improv in Chicago, which is kind of my home club back when I lived there. And Brad is, and I think you've met him before. He is literally the nicest person you could ever meet. Not just nicest celebrity, like the nicest person.
And tall.
And so tall. He's like 6'9". Jewish, so I call him Chewbacca. He's so cool.
He has a nice belt.
Oh,
That's all
yeah,
I know.
yeah. So I worked with him one weekend, and I gave him my card, and I said, hey, if you ever want to work together again in the Midwest, let me know. And I got a call 2 weeks later that from his booker that he was opening the Tropicana, and could I come out and feature for him? So that's kind of where it took off. So it was an amazing opportunity. You never know really where you're going to get your break in this business. So.
That's right. So
Yeah.
be nice to everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, but you come from a family of firefighters, right?
Yeah.
So was there a lot of pressure, you know what I'm saying, for you to go into the biz, or
No,
what?
I think, I come from 3 generations, so by the time it came to me, I'm the youngest, and they wanted me to go to college and kind of stay out of the family business, but I don't think they would have been disappointed if I had done it. But I remember, as a kid, when I was 12, I used to go into the housing projects with my dad and put fires out. Like, how many 12-year-olds that are doing this? How
involved did you get?
Oh, real involved. Had all the
friggin' hose?
Yeah, I had the equipment on. We had we call them hand pumps, as they're basically large buckets of water.
Were you or any member of your family ever in a fireman's calendar?
I was not. I'm still working on it. I kept calling.
The Virgin asks. That's got to know. Let's check.
Check on the bucket list.
But would you be willing to be on one, Ken? That's
Absolutely.
what I'm asking.
What month would you be?
I feel like May is a good month for me.
May?
Yeah, because I I wear green. I look good in green. It's a spring month. I feel like I'm a May guy.
May.
We're going to work on
If
that.
it were me, I'd say August.
Okay.
But I mean that as a compliment. I hope you get that.
So,
I would be in August? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's sizzling, so I'll take it.
firefighting's such a serious, dramatic profession. I mean,
Yeah.
what led you to comedy? How did you even think of, where did you start? How did
He's
you...
9 years old and goes, I don't want to be this
He's
fucking
like,
flame.
Oh,
"Fuck
yeah.
the fire.
That's
I am
exactly.
out of here."
Oh my god, the smoke hit my eyes. I was like, off to college we go, because I'm not doing this bullshit anymore. But that's what it was. I mean, I just didn't think I had it, in me. I wasn't called to do that type
Aren't
of
there
work.
supposed to be federal investigators who go, why is there a 9-year-old playing this
Yeah.
film?
Yeah, is that legal? That's true. What kind of work permit do you need for that?
It's dad's work permit.
Midwest, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck it.
Wow.
You're 9 years old, as long as you can talk, basically. You're going to follow dad.
Point the water at that. Okay, Dad.
My dad took me to the law office. That was traumatic enough
Yeah.
as it was. Just all those files. I can't.
Whoa, work on some torque, did you?
You're holding the hose. You're like, am I helping?
Yeah.
Am I helping?
Oh, look, a chest hair just sprouted. I don't want to be a man. It's too much. But I got into comedy. You know, I always was a class clown. I know a lot of comics weren't, but I was. You know, I was like a teacher's nightmare. I was like a straight A student and a class clown. So it's like there's not much grief they could give me. You know, because I was doing the work, I was getting it done. And then one day, my buddy was talking about joining the Navy, and I'm like, you're 25. Like nobody joins the Navy at 25. And he's like, well, I'm going to join. I tell you what, if you join the Navy, I'll do stand-up. Because I was talking about doing an open mic, but I just didn't have the balls to do it. And so he smiled, and he had already signed that day. And so now I was on the hook, and I had to go do stand-up comedy. So the day before he departed for boot camp, I invited 40 of my friends, and I went and did an open mic, and I got 4 laughs, which is just enough. If I had gotten 3, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. But 4, I'm like, I'm good. I'm golden.
Things are looking good.
Yeah.
I have a career.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is there was a videographer there that night, and he's like, "Oh, I'll tape your set and give you a copy." So I have a copy of it, and I can't even make it through.
Can we cut to that?
Oh, well, yeah. I'm going to put it up for a Throwback Thursday one day for about.
Do you remember
First joke.
Oh my gosh! It was at the time Olive Garden had a campaign where they were using these over Italian ethnic characters, hey, our uncle came in from Italy and we brought him to Olive Garden. I'm like, well, you must fucking hate your uncle because it's horrible food. It's a nightmare. And then I grew up in the south side of Chicago, and if you don't know anything about Chicago, it's very segregated. So there are even still today, there's black neighborhoods, Latino neighborhoods, white neighborhoods. And my neighborhood converted into a black neighborhood. And so I talked about that, and that's when everything just went and it wasn't racist or anything, it was just me trying to get along, because we didn't move. My dad wasn't racist, our family wasn't racist, so we just stayed in the neighborhood. We were the last white family to move out, and I talked about growing up with all these black guys that were so suave and stuff and it didn't hit at all. And it was I was wearing khaki pants at the time, and I'm like, they're just not relating to it, but yeah, it's hard to make it through that set right now, for sure.
So how could you have khaki pants if you're fighting fires? That's amazing that you do that.
Because you have to look stylish no matter what you're doing.
How did you
Come on, I would burn that shit. That's all. You are on fire.
I should have wore cut-off shorts or something. Yeah. You know, that's what I'll wear in the calendar for Mr. August.
I'm impressed. I do nothing fire-related, I hope. And
yeah.
I can't keep anything khaki clean more than 5 seconds.
It's hard.
Which is a premise, by the way, that's vastly overused.
Khaki clean?
Yes, the khaki clean. We've all heard it.
So you were in school until 20, and then you were 25 when you first hit the stage, right?
Yeah,
so
I was a late bloomer. Yeah.
What were you doing? Did you have a job before that?
Yeah, in fact, I was
in jobs.
Yeah, I was in. I worked for in corporate America forever.
Oh,
yeah.
You were a suit.
Yeah, I got a degree in finance, and I was working in sales and.
Impressive.
Yeah, had a house and a dog and a Lexus, and then I was just like, I need to go work for $200 a week. That's
My
what
dream.
I want to do. Yeah. Who needs all this amazing stuff that is awesome? No, I just want to go tell jokes in bowling alleys.
It's an interesting point, though, that what really made you make that decision? Because I think that's actually a really mature decision to follow your creative instinct and not the suit stuff, because it's such a challenge for everyone. Do you go for the money or do you go for the life?
Yeah, and a lot of it had to do with my upbringing. So I was in a very blue-collar family. In that type of environment, you work 35 years, you get a pension, you have a house, and you raise kids. And so for me, leaving the south side of Chicago and going off and doing this, I'm a crazy person. You know what I mean?
Now you're the Looney Tune of the family.
Yeah, absolutely. So my parents finally understood. It's my mom always called it my little hobby, quote unquote,
Hobby.
And then when she saw her little hobby on the Vegas Strip starring at the Tropicana, she's like, and it's my son, the comedian. He's a comedian. He's definitely a professional comedian. So I think now they've become more accepting of it. But, for me, it was a very hard decision. You've got the security of money and a career, and you've got all these things that you can have, but comedy was always my calling, if that makes sense, and it's something that I always wanted to do, and when I was able to kind of let go of the other dream that I thought that I wanted and pursue this other one, I've never been happier, you know, and all this stuff is just stuff. You know what I mean? And I said, you know, I was out to dinner one time with my girlfriend, and we were in this like really nice restaurant before I, you know, left corporate America. And I said, you know what? My goal is that, you know, 2 years from now, we're going to come back to this restaurant and we're going to eat at this restaurant, and I'm going to pay for it with comedy money. You know what I mean? So that way...
Funny money!
Yeah, funny money, man. Like, then I win, because you win then, you know? Like, if I can make what I was making before doing what I love to do, then you win, you know? And so...
Of course, you stole it, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, now I'm robbing bowling alleys.
From the kitchen, yeah. Well, you know, bowling alleys, lots of cash.
Yeah.
It's a cash
It's
business,
a cash
bowling
business,
alleys. I know nothing about bowling. Anyway, how exciting. Well, that's a great... Now you're in LA. You live in LA full-time, and you're pursuing your career.
Oh,
and you did go back to the restaurant, obviously, and bought the dinner. Now, your girlfriend now... She grew up in the comedy business, isn't that right?
Yeah, so
Is that weird?
Yeah, well, it's great.
Come on, are you just doing her to get gigs? Or
no, it didn't work out that way.
Oh.
You know, a lot of comics will hit on waitresses. I go straight for the owner's daughter.
Right.
You know, like, I don't mess around. You know, I went top shelf. And, you know, I met her. It's funny, I had been working at her father's club for years, but she always worked during the day, and we had never met, and then one night we met. And, you know, it's great being with somebody.
Can I sing, like, underscore of, like, romantic music as you're describing the story?
What's that?
Can I, like, sing romantic music as you're describing the story? Like,
Yeah. Well, I remember, because, like, the first thing she said to me, she's like, did you spill water on your shirt? And I had just gotten off stage, and, like, no, it's the fat sweat that's coming through the shirt. I'm like, does that make me attractive to you? Are you into me now? Because this is perspiration. But no, it's actually great. It's a blessing that she knows comedy. She gets it. She understands how the business works, and she understands like what it takes to get there. So she's very patient, and she's really supportive. Like, you know, a lot of girlfriends will be like, hey, stay in tonight, and let's go out, and let's be a normal couple. And she understands that I need to go out and I need to work in order to kind of get to that next level.
Right. It is a weird thing if you're, you know, I mean, I have a partner in comedy as well, and like you're out every single night doing comedy somewhere. Any normal person in a relationship would think you were out doing something crazy.
Right, yeah.
Well, you are out doing something crazy, but, you know, in a different way.
Yeah, and you know, I think a lot of couples don't understand, or a lot of people that date comedians, they don't understand, like, well, you're out having fun, like, trust me. Like, sitting at an open mic with 50 comedians telling, you know, horrible jokes is not fun. Like, but you know, and so she'll come with, like, you know, other girls I dated, I brought them with, and they're like, can we please go? Can we please get out of here? I'm like, I'm at work, and this is work, you know.
Welcome to my job.
Yeah. By the way, next week we're going to drive to North Dakota for 20 hours for $150 at a bowling alley.
Get ready, baby.
Yes. Get your seatbelt on.
I am your man.
Do you ever run jokes by her?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
Wait now, come on.
No.
Really?
No. Because she views it as her boyfriend talking about this as opposed to like maybe my character or my perspective. Right. And it's not, you know, like, she's like, no, you would never say that. I'm like, I'm not saying it. Like, my persona is saying it, or my, you know what I mean? So.
Well, you know where it does get sensitive? I used to perform stand-up. I don't do much anymore. And then Dave also performs, my partner, and we'd go up on the same night. And I remember he would always make me ask permission, right? Like, if I told a joke about him, he would say, you have to ask me first.
Really?
And I was like, you don't have to ask me. You can say anything. Yeah. And that was actually our battle. Oh, it was just various things. Stuff about how he was a couch potato and stuff. You know, before we owned the business, Dave had another business. And so for a while, he didn't work. Oh. And so I would always say that, you know, he was...
Wait, he had a business, but he didn't work?
No, he sold a business.
Oh, I see.
He had a business, sold a business, and actually was able to take a couple years off. Oh. But also, he also drove around in a motorhome for many, many years. But the point was, anytime I would make any joke about him, I had to get permission.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So... that was awkward, right? But I didn't do that to him.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that. But
no.
But does she get offended if you talk about her on stage?
No, she gets it. Oh. You know, and she knows that it's probably an exaggerated version of the story. You know what I mean? So and so.
Is it?
Yeah, no, it's usually spot on. It's usually 100% accurate.
Just checking.
Yeah, no, she's been really supportive, and I think you need that. You know, you kind of need that balance in your life.
Right.
So. Because especially in this scene, I've only been here for 8 months, and in a way, I'm starting over. And so
it's true.
You're in a new scene. Nobody knows who you are.
Tell people about that, because you've been on the road a lot, and you really are. I mean, I even lived in Oregon for a while, and you're a big fish somewhere else.
Oh,
and then you come to LA, and it's like, what?
Oh my gosh! My mom's like, "Well, do you feel like a fish in the ocean?" I'm like, "I feel like a plankton in the ocean. Like I feel like." You try to prepare yourself mentally for changing the comedy scene, but the biggest difference really is stage time out here. It is very hard to come by. And number two, it's the sheer volume of comedians. It's mind-blowing.
Well, tell people about that. Like, what's the difference? Like, how often could you get up on stage, in Chicago?
Every night. Really? I mean, I had, you reach a certain point as you put the time in, which is really important to do, but you put the time in, and, I could walk into a club and get 10-minute guest spot at any club, you know what I mean? Or, I can get up on an open mic, and the open mics there, you can do 7 to 8 minutes each, Here, it's like you may or may not get on the open mic, and you're going to do 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe 4 if you're lucky. So it's very hard to kind of have this tremendous amount of opportunity and momentum in the hometown you grow up in, and there's a parade when you leave, and they're like, there he goes off to become a millionaire. And then you get here, they're like, we don't fucking care who you are. Put your name on the list.
Who are
I'm
you?
like, yeah, exactly. So, but it's also given me a resurgence. You know what I mean? And so I'm writing a lot more. I'm working with the best comedians in the world, which is great because it puts you in a mindset of always wanting to do better. And I think that's really what the healthy change has been, is just immersing myself in a new scene. And really, I'm sitting at a comedy club, and like Dave Chappelle walks in or Bill Burr walks in, and you're like, oh, that's right, I do suck. You know what I mean? And I don't. But I mean, you're like, there's so much work that I can be doing, and you can understand now where you want to go.
Right. I always wonder, is it the number of venues or just the fact that there's so many comedians here? Because we have this great club, and of course we do auditions every week, and I always am amazed at how many new people come out for auditions every week. I'm like, where do they come from?
They're just, they're getting off the bus every day, just like I did. They're packing up their stuff, and they're heading out, and... and I think, to give your own club a plug, Flappers is a great club to come to. You guys are so supportive of comedians at every stage. Bill Burr was here last week, but then you guys are running open mics every night. So I think a comedian who's coming here, come to the auditions on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and you're going to get stage time, if you're good.
Right.
And I think you guys do a great job of managing the comedians to the point where, hey, we're going to give this guy 3 minutes, and that guy 7, and that guy, and it's a great club to grow in, and so I'm thankful for the opportunity to be here.
Right, honestly. Well, and that's how we found you, of course.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if you actually came to an audition first. I think that was that.
Yeah, it's one of the first things I did.
Do you want me to check the file on?
Yeah, let's look this up.
Let's get to the database.
Oh, look, there's a naked firefighter picture in the file. Cute. Perfect.
What month? Is it August?
It's May,
It's
actually.
May?
Look
Okay.
at that.
I'll allow it.
Can we meet in the middle of July? Can we do like a mid-June type?
What would your pose be?
Could you just try on the suit for us? I'd really like to just, have it, whatever.
Are you like every other woman? Are you like, is there a soft spot in your heart for uniform guys?
I did go to the I read your bio, and I went to the firefighter thing, because I don't know what it is, but there is something exciting, right, ladies, about a firefighter. It's like...
I once put out a match. Does that do anything for anyone?
No. It's the hat and just there's a confidence about them. And maybe it's the fact that they don't have to do much all day, so they get to work out all the time. That could be part of the help of the...
Well, I think it's, they're running into a building that everyone's running out of. You know what I mean? And so, so I think that merits some type of acknowledgement from women. I would dress up, and even when I was like 17, 18, I would get in, and put all the gear on, and I'd sit outside in the fire truck, and all these limos full of women would hey, whistling at you, and I see what you're up to, Dad. I know what you're about.
Hey, son, come in here. The building's about to collapse. I need you.
Yeah.
Well, you do have some material about it too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
I hope it's Scotch guarded. Oh, that's why you have me.
Okay.
That's why.
But I never heard about the 12-year-old angle. That's a good idea. Do you talk about it being 12 and going into those buildings and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. I mean, it was literally, just like my dad would treat me like one of the men. Like he would say, "Hey, go get this guy." I'm like, I don't know what that is. I'm 12. Like I don't go get the hook ringer thing. Dad, I was just playing Transformers. Right. Like I don't understand what that means. You know what I mean? And that guy over there is on fire, so we should probably point the hose at him. Not to tell you how to do your job, but this is a horrible thing and you're a bad parent.
I bet you do great at firefighter fundraisers.
Oh, yeah, I do a lot, yeah. They love it, man. I mean, it's just, I did one, it was a New Year's Eve, it was a firefighter gig in a smaller town, and unfortunately, 2 firemen had passed in, like, Pittsburgh or something, and they did a moment of silence. And they completed it and said, "Okay, here's your comedian." I'm like, "Oh God!" Like, wow, yeah. So the moment of silence continued for the next 9 minutes while I went up there and.
That happens a lot. I was just talking about this with Dap Fan actually, and it's like a lot of comedy, comedians do fundraising
Sure,
and comedy are just a great blend, and they're always want to talk about the cause at that show, and they always put the comedian up right up. Let's show war veterans, dying, and then let's do the comedy.
Auschwitz was a terrible place.
I'm always like, you can't.
Hey, let's roll Timmy up here. He's gonna die in 4 days, and we're trying to pay for his funeral. Timmy, come up. You got anything to say? I don't want to die. Okay, Timmy, let's bring up your comedian.
All right,
awesome,
boy, let's go. Make us laugh. Yeah, it's tough.
He wasn't that funny. Well, how do you follow Timmy? They're doing CPR on him right now on stage, so I'm not sure how that works exactly. But okay.
See, folks, how hard comedy is? Look what we have to deal with. No, but I'm so proud of you for taking the leap, coming to LA and making it happen. And now, look, you've got a headlining show tonight at 10 o'clock. You guys got to come down and see Ken. And he actually is here a lot and various shows, Yoo-Hoo Room, Main Room, all the time. So what are you working on? You got some projects coming up? What's your dream? You want to be go move to the acting world or just live appearance, firefighting, what?
No, I think right now I want to stay in comedy for as long as I possibly can. I mean, I'm not going to turn down acting or a show or any opportunity. I got really great advice when I came here from my agent, who's just like, don't close any doors. Be honest about what you can do. If you can sing, tell them you can sing. If you can dance, tell them you dance. But just be open to anything. And so, my goal has always been that if at the end of the day I can work a club on the weekends and I can support my family, then I'm living my dream and I've quote unquote made it. But at the same time, if the opportunity arises that I can have my own TV show and do all these great things, then obviously I would take those opportunities. But for me, I'm really content just working on comedy and comedy clubs and just getting better.
That's the right place to be. I'm telling you, that's when the good magical comedy happens.
Yeah.
I think you should be on a reality TV show where you have to go fight fires.
Yeah. You know what? That's a great idea. Let's take comedians.
I think this is a horrible idea.
Put them into jobs that their family does, and then see if they can live up to
and not only do you have to really save lives, you
Yeah.
have to be funny at the same time.
Right.
Multitask.
And do CPR.
He shoots calendars by day, and at night he fights fires.
So, Ken, what's your website? Where can people find out more about where you're performing and all that?
Sure, it's kengarr.com, KENGARR.com. Yeah.
Anyone ever do that before?
Oh, yeah. I was a pirate comic for 4 years.
Ken Garr!
And they roll the R when I go to Spanish clubs. It's Ken Garr. I'm like, oh, okay, that's awesome.
What's the origin? What does Garr mean?
It's actually funny. It's my father was adopted. It's a shortened Greek name, so it was Gargalionis. And then they got the Ellis Island, like, you're a foreigner, and they went, Garr. I'm like, cool, so.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
done.
That was the slacker at Ellis.
Yeah.
Garr, fuck it. No,
well, they gave us 2 R's, so that's good. I feel it completes it. But yeah, that's where it came from.
Awesome.
And and then
wait, how do you say the full name again one more time?
I'm sorry?
How do you say the
Gargalionis.
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 Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. No, that doesn't. Well.
Straight Greek.
Yeah.
Well, gay Greek if you've ever.
Tell us Twitter, Facebook, all that.
Comedian Ken Garr.
And you got the comedian. Was it Ken Garr was taken?
Yeah, there's a magician in
What is that?
There's a magician in Hermosa Beach named Ken Garr, and he and I have just been duking it out on Google forever. Like, we've got this rivalry going for the last 10 years. So I've got comedian Ken Garr is my Twitter, and then kengarr.com, and of course I'm on Facebook as well. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The only way you can get your own original Twitter name is like to be, literally you'd have to be the first one on social media, period.
Yeah.
Or go with Garr Gailey.
Or make up some stupid name. Yeah, why don't you go with Ken Gargalian for your Twitter?
Well, I like
that
it when
was taken too?
I like it when they go like the real Ken Garr. Like, all right, calm down.
And how do you verify that? That's what I'm still trying to find out. All the big celebs are always like, oh, you verify it. I'm like, how?
I think Twitter does.
How do you verify it? Does anyone know? Write in and tell me.
There's a secret room somewhere. I was just talking about this with Joe Park.
Yeah, I've called and emailed and they won't respond.
There's a room, and every day they go, all right, well, we've got Bill Cosby and this porn star. We're going to verify them.
Right.
Okay, Bill Cosby's a porn star?
No, Bill Cosby, like there's, it's like,
and a porn. I missed the. Okay, I missed the.
It's a Kennedy Center.
Cosby walks into a porn bar.
Because they're verified porn stars.
Put your clothes on.
Okay.
I need to verify this. I just don't get that whole thing. I don't know. It's really whoever gets to it first or who has the most money, I think. Somebody's paying Twitter.
Of course it does.
Right?
Oh, they should charge. I mean, that'd be a good idea.
I'm sure Spielberg...
They should charge!
Spielberg called Twitter and was like, can you get me verified? To be like, yes, of course.
Well, so tweet him at comedian Ken Garr. We know where that is now. And so this is the point in our podcast where we actually like to invite newcomers up here to do what we call our Punch It Up segment.
Yeah.
And great comics like you have been on the road and who write well, and hopefully we can give the comedians a little feedback, some tags, some jokes, ideas. What do you say, Ken
That
Garr?
sounds great. Let's do it.
So Joshua, who is our first comedian?
All right, first comedian coming to the stage. Guys, keep it going. For Ari Ruelas.
Ari. Is that Lars? I wonder. Oh, she's so pretty.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, how you doing? Huh?
Great.
Good. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Got my weave in, so I'm doing good. Clipped it in this morning, you know what I'm saying? So do I just go ahead kind of thing? Roll with the punches?
Do your thing.
All right. Well, for starters, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Latina, as you can tell from my eyebrows. Sharpie chisel tip. And I'm a single mom, but I had my son being a Latina. I had him later in life. I was 19, so I was in that awkward stage of like too old for MTV's Teen Mom, but still too young to buy myself a 40. So it was a hard transition, and you know, social media was also another hard transition when I had my son. Before I could go and take selfies like without interruptions, now I had to bring him into the bathroom. No, wait here. I'm gonna give you some toys. Mommy's gonna be busy. I'm in the corner like, okay, work it, surfboard, you know what I'm saying? You know? And then at one point, like I found this really good picture of myself. I'm like, damn, that's gonna be my default pic. And I didn't really clearly check the picture in the corner. My son's over there like reaching out for me because he's hungry. But I'm like, dude, it's my selfie time. This doesn't get to happen often, you know? So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tell my grandma I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. So I'd go into the bathroom, no weave, no eyebrows. Grandma, can you watch him really quick? I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, mija, está bien. I go into the bathroom, my makeup bag and everything, go in there, do a little quick photo, you know, oh, what's up, you know, my grandma. After a while, she started noticing I'd come out of the bathroom, like, all done up, weaving, padded bra and shit. So she's like, ¿Qué estás haciendo, mija? I'm like, oh, shit. Nothing, grandma, why? Estás tomando selfies, huh? Selfies? Pinche selfies? I'm like, shit. You know, and then another one of my aunt would call her and be like, did you see the picture Ariana posted? Oh, shit. So, yeah, she started catching on for a bit. It was a little awkward. She now makes me always take him everywhere. Like as if I'm responsible for him or something. I don't know. Another hard transition, being a mom. Everyone assumes that you're going on dates to meet the one, to get married and all that. And that's not true. I want what every other young single mom wants. Someone to pick me up in their car, pay for my dinner, and pay for my movie ticket. My EBT is not accepted at the AMC, and the WIC does not fly with them either. You know, like that's what I like. I enjoy dating. That's why I like it, you know? And I once tried this online dating app called OkCupid. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's kind of like POF, but anyways, going into huge detail about that. And their questions on the website are like interesting. They're like, hey, so have you ever licked ass? I'm like, well, I kissed my ex, so yeah, pretty much. What do you like to do in bed? Sleep. Like, what else? You know, and then another question I think was like, so how far do you go on a first date? Well, I gotta be at work at 10, so like, how far did you want to go? Like, where are we going? Kind of thing. Like, it's so awkward. These dating websites, you feel like meat, you know? It's, and as much as I do like to restore myself to a hot piece of bacon, that's not really what I'm going for in a relationship. And I have a lot of friends who tell me, you know, Ariana, it's okay, you know, that you're extra curvy. That's the nice word for big girls. You know, it's okay. You gotta find someone who's gonna love you for you. But before you do that, you gotta love yourself. I'm looking at them like, girl, I've been loving myself for too damn long, and I'm getting hand cramps here. All right, it's hard. All right, thank you so much, guys.
All right. Hey, grab that microphone and come on over. Hey, Josh, will you put our sign
right here? Oh,
yeah, have a seat. Oh, she can do it. Awesome, thank you.
All right.
Welcome, Ari. That was fun.
Thanks.
Wow. How long you been doing comedy?
Like 8 months, going on 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Very new. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was
for
really good.
8 months. I mean, seriously.
You're very confident on stage for having only done it 8 months.
Oh, thank you.
And honestly, most importantly, you look like you're having a really good time.
Yes.
You don't seem
I enjoy
nervous.
it.
You know what I mean? Like, you just seem like you're just having a conversation, just
All right.
explaining your situation. So, were you
good.
nervous? I mean, did you feel nervous?
Just because sometimes my weave clip shows, and
Okay.
that's the only thing I'm worried about, you know?
Please keep that in your act. Please keep
Yeah.
that joke in your act.
Where do you get a weave
be
exactly?
real.
I'm
Well, I
looking
can
to
look
get
it up. I'm a licensed cosmetologist.
Oh,
so
can you
know,
help me out?
just-
I don't know where you,
You know,
put the
I
track.
can
but-
Best Beweave It. They're a great weave supplier. I really like them. It's unbelievable. So you should try hitting them up.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was great. I thought I love that you're talking about your life. I think that's what a lot of people are going to relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Being a single mom, talking about dating and still being a single mom. I love, again, your confidence and the one thing I would say, in regards to like the selfie, it's even really just a punch up. It's just like, why are you taking the selfies? Is it just because you're trying to attract men? Or look, Grandma, I'm trying to get me a man. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want to I once wanted to kind of. I think the idea of taking a selfie and having to like sneak and get it done is hilarious. But what does it lead to? You know what I mean?
I had an idea there too.
Sure.
Take a selfie timeout. Right? Like you create this whole new young mother version
There you go.
Right.
It's selfie timeout.
Yeah. Yeah, or like you put your kid
How
down for a
long is it?
nap,
Yeah.
right? Like, Mama's got to take some selfies. All right, like let's get some hot milk going. Let's get you down to sleep. What's your son's name?
You need to go to sleep for like 5 selfies.
Yeah, 5 selfies later.
5 selfies. I'll be back to wake you up.
You don't even like time it anymore.
That is a great concept,
Yeah.
especially
I like that.
right
That's tight.
now.
That's tight.
Yeah, it's that 19 comment was really good too. That's a great opening joke.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
Because you look really young.
Really?
So there was a lot of elements going into that,
Okay,
but
cool,
that's
cool.
great, and it also says a lot about you. I need to hear about that tattoo though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What?
When I went to jail,
I need to hear about that too. Let's back it up.
Damn! I knew she was leaving shit out.
Right? I'm Latina. Come on, let's be real. No, actually, my
You got that when you were 1.
yeah, I was just outside,
6 months.
Yeah, when they're doing my weave in the front yard. No, my friend in her room, she's like, "Hey, girl, you got like some weird looking skin there." I was like, "What the hell?" She's like, "Let's cover it up." I had like this like weird rash outbreak or something. I don't know really what it was, but it's still there.
So wait, the solution?
Just put a tattoo over it, It's kind of like camouflage,
okay.
It worked out. I'm starting to, travel to the rest of my body wherever there's like a lot of stretch marks. Just gonna go on and make,
keep going,
yeah,
keep
just keep
tattooing.
going, Let's see how far I go on that. I think it's a great idea.
These are my stretch marks.
Yeah, these are my
I
the
call
Great
it
Lakes.
tattoo. A river runs
Yeah,
through
river
it.
runs through.
Next week I got the Grand Canyon coming on.
Exactly. No, just 3 roses for my mom, my grandma, and my aunt. They're main homegirls in the family, So,
Yeah. Now, do you guys all live together?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's terrible.
Well, you're Latina, so I figured.
Exactly. It's like 12
Grandma,
people in one
grandpa,
house.
great-grandma, great-grandpa. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but I think keep talking about the stuff that's real in your life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And
sure.
I mean, being a single mom and being you know what I mean, being a Latina, like everything that you talked about, I believed. You know what I mean? And I think that's when the audiences start buying into you as a person, is when you're talking about things that, you know, because a lot of people see single moms and like on dates, like, oh, I can't believe she's left her child. You guys have a life of your own. You have a hard job. You're raising a kid. So I loved the way you talked about dating, and you know, look, I'm just trying to get some. Like, I just want to get a movie ticket. Like, if I can get a large popcorn, I win. You know what I mean? So Mama needs to eat. Right. So.
Overall note, same. I loved you. I adore you. I think you're awesome. I would say slow
down. I know. I talk so fast normally, even in real life. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I have the same problem. I do it too. And remember, though, that you are going to walk over those laughs. And then you're going to say, oh, they're not laughing, but we are laughing. So pause and enjoy.
Breathe.
Yeah, and if you can do it between, maybe for you, instead of a segue, for just in a formulatic way, give yourself a break between topics, maybe, and that could be where you can remind yourself to slow down, because we really do enjoy you, and I think you'll get way bigger laughs. Like
if I give them that break,
like 19, you better pause there.
Okay.
And laugh. You can have fun with it, but let them. That's going to be a big laugh, and you went too quickly over it.
Yeah,
like you would be getting, and our goal is to get the laughs. So don't forget that silence is really important. I still love this selfie bit. I'm going to keep going. I also rep comedians in the college market, so this is like. But there was another idea I had about maybe doing eyebrow selfies. For the Latino selfie is like just of your eyebrows.
Ronald McDonald, Nike symbol.
I think we just discovered a new business.
You could even do that on Twitter, and you could start to build your brand.
There you go.
Isn't that a fun idea? I love that. And then I kept asking, like, what's the Latina selfie as an eyebrow? EBT at the AMC. I lost that a little. But I thought there was some fun wordplay there that maybe you could go farther with.
Okay. That's nice.
What's a Latino, like, it almost sounded like a little gang style there. Like,
EBT is the food stamps.
It's the welfare program.
And AMC won't take food stamps, obviously. You can't buy tickets with your EBT card.
So I grew up on food stamps, but they were called food stamps.
Yeah, now it's EBT.
How do they
make it sound fancy
on a card?
It's a debit card. It's a debit card. Because I see the signs everywhere. Hey, I'll do it.
Wouldn't it be great if we could all just get food cards?
Oh, there you go.
So, but that's an example of the slow down part, because I thought you were saying like
a cholo.
No, or like electronic transfer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like just a I didn't realize it was food stamps. And I think you actually have to say food stamps.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just sense. Because, or food card as they call it nowadays, or food debit card, or
CalFresh or something like that.
Well, what's great about the debit card, right, is that I heard that you can actually put, like, when in my day, you couldn't buy alcohol or Inquirer magazines. I know because
no Playboys.
Just end my life already.
My mom would send me back to the store to buy those things with cash. I think you can't buy feminine products either. No. With the card now, you can get anything, right? Even alcohol?
I think no alcohol and no cigarettes.
Gosh, shit.
Okay.
Yeah, but you just withdraw the money and then go buy it.
See, you get cash back.
What about cocaine?
In some neighborhoods, depends.
Okay.
Some Jack in the Box at McDonald's legitimately will take your EBT card and they'll ring it up for you. It's crazy. I haven't done it yet because I live in Simi, so.
Well, there might be something there too, though, in your neighborhood where you go into the liquor store, but they don't even have a swiper there.
Yeah,
right?
It's weird. It's crazy. I don't know.
So you like trade your card,
like Pokemon, magic cards.
Swipe it. I'm just gonna trade it. That's Latina currency right there.
Eyebrow pencil for some gallon of milk.
And then just since you're so new, I'm just going to give you this one little note, especially, and people who've heard our podcast before know I say this a lot to women, but never apologize. There was one point in there where you said, oh, it's too many details, blah, blah, blah. No, it's never too many details in comedy. Keep going.
Keep with the details.
And don't apologize.
All right.
That's just an early lesson, especially for female comics in particular. I don't know why women do it, but we tend to go, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and not funny.
Yeah.
Your opinions are funny.
Dude, I dated Latinas. You guys are fierce.
Oh, shit.
You're fierce.
You know what's up.
Right?
Piggyback
You know what I'm saying? You're fierce, man.
There's a reason we're crazy.
Dude, they get mad at you in a language you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Piggybacking off of what Barb said, when you, and by the way, I rarely do I see someone who's been only doing it 8 months who is that personal. So
Yeah.
that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Huge.
And fun.
Yes.
Like you're having so much fun. Don't ever, try not to ever lose that.
Yeah.
But the two things I would say is that I want like more specificity just from what goes on in your life. Like
Nice.
take it even further.
How
More
old's your
detail.
kid?
He's 3 going on 4, so I get a good tax refund now. Only got a couple years left on him.
He deserves Jordans.
Yeah,
'cause
he
gave me some money.
Air Force Ones.
Yeah, there you go.
But what I would say, when she mentioned, don't apologize, when you first got up and you grabbed the mic, you actually took a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to do that.
Really?
Because you're physically apologizing.
Oh, I see. Body language.
These are women things. A lot
Right.
of women comics do. I think we're trained, we're bred to do it, you know, to stand back from the man, to be like, I always use that jump rope analogy, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
If you've ever been on an improv team, you're going to know what I'm saying is, you know, a good improviser jumps into the jump rope, and the bad ones, they go backwards, right?
True.
So we're saying, jump in, man. This
Just
is your stage.
Be a fierce Latina, honest to God.
Right.
I honestly, just you guys are like be on stage the way you are in relationships. Like just come out and punch them in the mouth.
Punching tires.
But you know, and I just want to commend you. You look
Slash
great.
their tires.
You know, like, you have a cute outfit on. Like that helps you stand out. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but you know what's cool about her? And you're gorgeous actually, but you're totally approachable and authentic, which is
thanks.
huge. Usually I tell the women dress down. I actually think that you were awesome, but
matches her personality.
a way to get that vulnerability in quick, I'm telling you, would be the weave joke.
Yeah.
Like just come out and they're looking at you and we're not going to like you right away because you're cute. So the minute you're like, oh my God, is
My weave though.
my weave clip showing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you get this instant like confession,
Yeah.
and people will go, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah, and then right to the 19 joke is like a great opening.
Oh, you had a great it was a great opening.
And you were clean too.
Thank you.
You always know you're doing well when we don't have to actually say that you're clean. I'm only doing it for the sake of punch it up, but no one should ever have to tell you that. But you'll have a lot more opportunities if you keep working in that direction.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ari Ruelas.
Great
All right, guys.
Another
Yes,
victim.
you do, guys. Keep it going, Mr. Tom King.
Yeah.
Sorry, is it Tom Knight?
It's Tom Knight. That's
Tom Knight.
Sorry,
Tom Knight,
the
thank you
case.
very much.
Got thrown up on the case. Tom Knight, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. So, like a lot of starving artists in this city, I think it's important that I try to punch up my revenue streams and get as many sources of income as possible. So I work in the service industry, and I also use Coinstar a lot. I love using Coinstar because it's not just about the money with Coinstar. You know, when you go to Coinstar, it always sends you home with a few trinkets for your troubles. Like, how'd you do at Coinstar today, Tom? Great, I made $26 and a button. A button? Yes! You get those kinds of perks with traditional banking. Another thing I love about Coinstar is that I hate lying, and as long as I regularly use Coinstar, if a woman asks me what I do for a living, I can say, currency exchange. Second date, every time. A friend of mine heard me use that joke once, or that line, and he goes, dude, that was borderline epic. And I was like, dude, that was an oxymoron. You're an adult, get your shit together. That's a bad habit I have, is correcting people's grammar when it's not necessary. This morning I was at the grocery store and I said to the cashier, you know, your sign should say 15 items or fewer. And he was all, do you have a Ralph's card? Like my editorial opinion means nothing if I'm not in his elitist club. My actual source of income is that I work at a restaurant, which means I lie for a living. Not about important stuff, just like the ingredients in the food, how to get back to the 101, stuff like that. It's funny when you work in a restaurant, you are constantly bombarded with questions that are difficult to answer with a straight face. Last night, a woman asked me to describe our shrimp cocktail. And And what I wanted to say was, ma'am, have you ever seen shrimp cocktail anywhere, ever? Because it's like that. Do you want it? And the worst are the holier-than-thou, indignant diners. I had a lady flag me down one time. I was not even her waiter. She flags me over and she says, "Excuse me, is your swordfish caught in nets?" And I wanted to slap her and say, "Why do you think I'd know that? I'm not on the boat." More importantly, how did she want me to answer that question? No, ma'am, all of our swordfish die of natural causes. We source them from a local hospice center where each fish is cared for till its dying breath. Furthermore, a portion of the proceeds from your meal tonight will be donated directly back to the swordfish community for their schools. That's what I got for you right there.
All right, Tom Knight,
Thank you.
Tom, how long have you been doing comedy, Tom?
I have been doing comedy for a long time. I'm actually also a Second City graduate in Chicago. Is that the new handshake?
Is that the Second City handshake?
I've been doing stand-up for about 3 years.
So you come from an improviser background?
Yeah,
Sketch
yeah.
too? Or just improv?
I studied acting in college, and when I graduated, I wanted to do sort of one-man type show type things. Like Mike Birbiglia is one of my biggest influences out there right now, and I want to do his sort of thing. But like you've already touched on earlier in the podcast, it's really tough to get 5 minutes in this city, and it's impossible to get 45. So I'm trying to work my way up.
Great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Ken.
No,
I see you anxious?
No, I thought it was great. I like your material. You have a lot of smart material, and every time I was like, oh, I was pleasantly surprised at a couple different directions that you went on some of the things. The Coinstar stuff is funny.
Thank you.
I like your persona. It's like I love the fact that it's like high middle class, but you're like, I work in a restaurant. Like I should be on Wall Street, but I'm a waiter. You know what I mean? I like that persona. It's like strangely likable. It's like, I'm like one of you, but I don't want to be. So I like that. I had a punch or a tag on the hospice. Is that the swordfish actually donated their bodies to science? You know,
right.
Like, hey, I went ahead and I love the direction that you went. Like, they died naturally, and they gave themselves to science. Like, they chose
like
to be
their organs went back to the
Right.
other swordfish, but their flesh went to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a little punch on that. On the shrimp cocktail one, I thought you had an opportunity to do a huge act out. Like, this is like no other shrimp cocktail you've ever had, ma'am.
It's served cold.
Like, I'm like, oh, I hope this like becomes a Broadway play,
Right.
and like you do a musical about the shrimp cocktail. And she's like, is it really like that? No, it's just shrimp cocktail. So I thought there was an opportunity there, but I thought it's a great bit.
I actually have a note there too, and
Please.
I think there's a structure issue that might just change. Here's the thing: overall, the jokes are actually really good. I definitely know you're an actor. I'm going to tell you that I actually wrote an article called "Stand Up and Get Seen," and it's about stand-ups taking acting and actors taking stand-ups and what the parallels are.
Yeah.
I come from an acting background as well, so I know this. And the thing is, stand-up is such a different form. It's really a conversation. We always say this, but it's true. It's not a presentation.
Right.
And so I'm just going to say that I felt you were a little bit more actory than stand-up-y, but here's what might help. So in that
Please.
area where he just was talking about, I'm not clear on what your point of view is. What I mean is, you sort of went back and forth about whether, first of all, you never said you were a waiter, which I think you have to. Like, if you say you work in a restaurant, you got to tell us where. I mean, you could
Right.
be a busboy, you could be a dishwasher, you could be the
Yeah.
cook. So are
It
you
could be Morton's Steakhouse, or it could be
right?
Jack in the Box.
Are you
Right,
a waiter?
right.
Is
or
it wrong?
sizzler?
Is it wrong that I assumed he was a waiter because he was white? That's
No,
wrong.
yeah, it's
I'm not aligned
totally
That's racist.
gender bias. Yes, job bias. But here's the thing: is what's your point of view on the guest? That's where it got like. You asked us, like, how would she like me to answer that? Never ask us, ask the audience the question, tell them. So say, I like to mess with these stupid idiots, or whatever it is. Or I
Right.
like to, give us your opinion. What do you want to say to them? Try not to ask us because you don't want to know the answer. You know what I mean? Like, be
Yeah,
careful.
that makes sense. You don't want to invite any sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah, you don't, because you never, I mean, you're pulling back, like, pull back the curtain and show us what the restaurant industry is like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because there's a subculture within that industry.
Absolutely.
Like,
We're in one.
yeah, exactly. And they all hang out and they all.
You just ordered spit, my friend.
Yeah.
Isn't that joke just last weekend, remember? Yeah.
Dan Gabriel.
Dan Gabriel, great joke. So, but that, I think, was where maybe it got... It's weird when you're listening to it as an audience member, is when you ask us a question, we start to answer it, instead of what you want to do is just say, people that are this stupid,
Right.
this is what I say to them, or this is what I do to them, or this is what we do as waiters at Sizzler to idiots that don't know what shrimp cocktail is.
As an audience member?
Oh, shrimp cocktail? Oh, that's when you grind up a bunch of shrimp and you put it in a martini glass and then you serve it with a twist of lime.
We serve the shrimp vodka for 4 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yes, and. Yes,
I love
and.
that too, because there's so
Yeah.
much of that just outright lying in the restaurant industry.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Every flatbread I've ever seen is a pizza.
Right.
But you call it flatbread and you can add $10 more.
Or it's artisan. Oh, it's,
Oh, yeah.
we flew a guy in from
Those are
Milan.
artisan cheeses.
He's here for 6 weeks only. You know what I mean? Like peel back the curtain and just. I don't mind if you make me feel like an asshole for going to a restaurant,
Right.
as long as it's your perspective. As long as we've all been in the service industry and we're like, oh God, like how we are to them is very different than when we get back to the kitchen.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, this jag bag wants no salsa on his nachos. You know what I mean? So peel back the curtain.
And I thought the currency exchange, I love the concept. I think that there's might be something better than currency exchange. Maybe something like, I'm a fine dealer of rare coins.
Right.
Or something more, like...
Corporate finance.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, currency.
Coin finance.
Yeah.
Currency isn't change. So I thought maybe going to the coins might connect it a little better.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Precious metals.
Low value coins. Right.
I deal in precious metals.
Precious metals.
At Ralph's.
Precious metals, including paper clips and lint.
A lot of copper.
Yeah. Yes. See, tease us around that, but the concept is really good.
Thank you.
And you definitely can pick up chicks with that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm killing it right now.
And keeping, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you can't, Josh.
No, go ahead.
Get a word in edgewise.
I think Barb's note along those lines, if I could adjust that, if I dare, is that I actually think, the conversational element, I think actors look for that too. It's, and the way that you can get it with the stand-up is, one possible exercise that I would suggest is that you say the first line, whether it's the setup, and then notice how the audience reacts to it. Take a minute and really observe. Because I found, like with me, sometimes that will lead to a different punchline.
Certainly.
That will, and then that's how you can kind of begin to do the conversation. And pretty soon it'll get to the point where you can do that without having to necessarily even ad-lib in between. But that's...
And that's something that I really appreciate about the Second City philosophy, is sort of using improv as a tool to create scripted material rather than using it as a performance medium in and of itself. And that does happen all the time in comedy, and that's one of the most fun things about it, I think, is when you tell a joke completely differently by accident, and it works, and you find something, and something clicks, and you say, "Man, I just wrote a whole new joke."
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you Armenian, by the way?
No.
Oh.
I am what is the most valuable race in Los Angeles, which is ethnically ambiguous. I am from the state of Maine.
Sounds like a
originally.
superhero.
Yes. I'm from Maine, and everybody's white up there. We're just all white.
Right. It's funny because you do look like you could be Armenian or Middle Eastern of some kind.
I'm
you have a little
French,
bit
Canadian,
of that.
and Italian.
Oh, cool.
So,
Do you do any characters?
Watch out, ladies.
Do you do any characters that you develop at Second City at all?
Yeah. Great.
I have never really done a stand-up set in character. I sort of have always had a knack for dialects, so I occasionally kind of bump
give
into
it to
that
us,
stuff a
give it
little
to
bit.
us.
I do some stuff about being from Maine and the white people. One of my first jokes I ever wrote that I still love is that the only folks in Maine who have any black jeans just have black jeans for funerals.
Oh, Merrill, they're putting Johnny in the ground today. Get my good dungarees.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's great.
But a lot of people are like, "What is that? Is that Is that a Maine accent? People out here don't.
Who cares?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, that's
Yeah.
comedy gold, my friend.
Hey, thank you.
There's the magic
To
you
use-
found,
yeah.
Ken. Look at that.
To use second city terminology, it's a choice. You know, what I mean, it's
Right.
a strong choice, and I having that same background, I try to use a lot of characters on stage. Like,
How's that second
it's-
city terminology? It's the word choice. It's been around for 1,000 years.
It's the improv. philosophy.
Yeah.
Yes, and make a choice.
Right.
Yeah, but when
Right?
Michael
It's
Gelman
just-
says
yeah.
it, I mean,
Yeah.
man, it's powerful. I just-
Gelman. Oh. Anyway, we'll talk
We'll
about
talk,
that guy
yeah, we'll
later.
talk after. What a guy.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Second City. No disrespect, but to be fair, it's
He's our
your
number one
choice.
subscriber.
But I would, I would introduce, especially if your end goal is to do a one-man show, I would start introducing some of your characters on stage and letting us get to know them.
Great advice.
Honestly, because
Yeah.
I think that's really going to help you kind of build that out. I'm not talking impressions. I'm talking about
Yeah, certainly. No, I
characters.
understand.
Can you do your mom? That's not.
Well, we're not like that in Maine. We're well north of the Mason-Dixon line. I don't
That's
understand
northeast,
what
Josh.
you're asking.
Dad? Can you do your dad?
My folks don't really have the Maine accent, which is great. I have other family members who do, and I had an uncle that used to. He was like really gruff, and he used to be one of those guys who'd he'd clear his nose like this, and he'd be like, "I'm right here. That's fucking gross. Stop it." But you didn't want to mess with that guy.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say it to his face, obviously. but
obviously not.
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, I think that's.
Please do that.
Yeah.
Do those, what you just did in those two characters, am I right, audience? Magic. Like, it's so hard to see it yourself on stage when you're doing it. Like, you kind of know, but did you feel how much you loved doing those characters?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that was really
it is
strong.
fun. And it's
How
like I
long have
said,
you lived here for?
I've been here for about 4 years.
Okay. So, I mean, the scene's very different, and a lot of people, because they, act outs are hack or character.
No,
like,
don't listen to those
man.
people.
Like, just do the type of comedy you want to do, and draw those characters out, because there's very few
I'm going to
people in
do
the
those
world.
people as a character.
Yeah, exactly.
Your act outs are hacky.
Yeah.
Go home.
Yeah. Like, and for this impression, I'll put on a hooded sweatshirt and hate my life. You know what I mean? So.
Great advice. Again, people do always, every time I tell a comic usually something, they'll say, oh, well, I don't want to do a gimmick. I don't want to have, I'm like, wait a minute, who is telling these things to you? And listen, everyone wants to stand in the way of success.
Yeah.
Really, especially if you're at a bunch of comedy, an open mic when there's a bunch of comics around, it's not like they're supportive like we are here. We want you to succeed. A comedy club, we need you to succeed.
Yeah.
We want you here. And I'm just saying, like, I watch a lot of comedy, and that stuff those characters were very interesting.
I appreciate it.
If I saw you doing that, I would be much more engaged than just the straight stand-up that you did. Only because you really did something with that. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like your thing,
It sets you apart.
I don't know how Ken knew that. He dug that out of you, but
I saw it. Yeah.
yeah, Tom Knight, I hope you
You're great.
will
Thank you very much.
do
Thanks
more
for
of
having
that.
me.
Hope
Great
it was
job.
Thank you for
helpful.
having me.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much for joining us today.
Appreciate it.
Please listen to the FlappCast later on tonight. We're going to post this. So, wow, what a great day. Ken Garr, amazing.
Thanks for
Ari
having me.
Ruelas and Tom Knight, and what a fun time.
Yeah, this is great.
If you do listen to this tonight and you have time, you can still make it down to see Ken Garr tonight at 10.
Get out here
Or
quick.
check our website,
Yep.
flapperscomedy.com, for the schedule. You'll see Ken on there a lot. And Joshua, who do we have in Claremont this weekend?
Claremont, we have Tracy Ashley from Last Comic Standing.
Who was headlining in Burbank this past weekend.
That's correct. Yes.
And
in Burbank, we have Jeff Richards.
Drunk Girl from SNL. And also, if you haven't heard yet, we are having a comedy festival, first annual Burbank Comedy Festival, coming up in August 17th through the 23rd. Amazing industry, amazing talent. Adam Carolla will be doing a podcast as part of the festival, and actually we're going to be raising funds for his lawsuit against patent trolls.
Oh,
and
wow.
if you go on the web, they're not little guys, that dress up in troll suits. It's a real deal. Google it. Google it, Joshua.
And you can see me in Adam Carolla's movie Road Hard coming out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Ken,
yeah,
we
that
filmed
movie.
it here at Flappers, and
right.
Ken was in it.
You'll see me.
What the heck?
Kind of a big deal.
And stay tuned. You can go to BurbankComedyFestival.com to get all those details. There's also a link off Flappers. Don't forget to download our Flap app, FLAPPAPP, to get all the latest deals and celebrity updates. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Barbara Holliday.
I'm Joshua Snyder.
Ken Garr.
Thanks, guys.
What is that weird buzz after? Thanks. Brent's going, mention the comedy festival. Mention the comedy festival.
It's the fade out of the bass.
Good punch it up, Ken. Punch, punch, punch. Very good. Did you guys enjoy that?
That was fun, thank you.
Yeah, you were great. You guys were fun.
Oh, stop
Good sports. I think we're getting.
You know how to pull the greatness out of this.
No, oh no. That was. I'm telling you, I'm serious about that.
I appreciate it. What's up, Clark? What's up, man?